Hello and welcome. Did you notice anything? Like how smooth I am? No? Fine. So, today is Friday the 13th. And why will we have some fun? Let's jump right in. Where is it? Where is it? We know you're out there. Short story about humans from an alien perspective, written by Anon. We made a mistake. That is the simple, undeniable truth of the matter. However painful it might be, the flaw was not in our observatories, for those machines were as perfect as we could make, and they showed us only the unfiltered light of the truth. The flaw was not in the predictor, for it is a device of pure, infallible logic, infallible logic, turning raw data into meaningful information without the taint of emotion or bias. No, the flaw was within us, the orchestrators of the disaster, the sentients who thought themselves beyond such failings. We are responsible. It began a short while ago whilst these things are measured, less than 6 in the power of 6 daily ago. Though I suspect our systems of measure will mean very little by the time anyone receives this transmission. We detected faint radio signals from a blossoming intelligence 2 power 14 degrees outward from the galactic core as photons travel. At first, crude and unstructured, these little broadcasts quickly grew in complexity and strength as the messages we carried. Through our observatories, we watched a of strife and violence populated by a barbaric race of short-lived, fast-witted vermin. They were brutal and uncultured things which stabbed and shot and burned each other with no regard for life or purpose. Even their concepts of art spoke of conflict and pain. They divided themselves according to some bizarre cultural patterns and set their every industry to cause of death. They terrified us, but we were older and wiser, and so very far away so we did not fret. Then we watched them split the atom and breach the heavens within the breadth of one of their single short generations, and we began to worry. When they began actually transmitting messages and greetings into space, we felt fear and horror. Transmissions promised peace and camaraderie. Camera, camaraderie. Camera to any who were listening, but we had watched them for too long to buy into such transparent deceptions. They knew we were out here, and that they were coming for us. The orchestrators consulted the predictor, and the output was dire. They would multiply and grow and flood out the home system, like some uncountable tide of devour worms, consuming all that lay in the path. Might that 6 in the power of 8 dealers, but they will destroy us if left unchecked. With aching carapaces, we decided to act and sealed our fate. The gift of mercy was 8 in the power of 4 strides long with a mouth 2/4 that in diameter, filled with many 4 in the power 4 plates of machinery, fuel and ballast. And it will push itself up to 2/8 of light speed with its onboard fuel, and then begin to consume interstellar primary element 2 out of 2, 2/2. How much was to read that one? To feed its unlimited acceleration, it will be traveling at nearly light speed when hit. They will never see it coming. Its launch was a day of mourning, celebration, and reflection. The horror of the act we had committed waited deeply upon us all. The necessity of our crime did little to comfort us. The gift had barely cleared the outer commentary. Hello, when the mistake was realized, it was too late. The gift could not be caught, could not be recalled, or diverted from its path. The architects and war crews, horrified at the awful power of the thing upon which they labored, had quietly self-terminated in droves, walking unshielded into radiation zones, neglecting proper full pressure, safety, or simply ceasing their nutrient consumption until their metabolic function stopped. The appalling cost in the lives had forced the orchestrators to streamline the gift's design and construction. There had been no time for the design or implementation of anything beyond the simple massive engines and the stabilizing systems. We could only watch in shame and horror as the light of genocide faded in flared against the distant void. They grew and they changed. A handful of lifetimes. They abolished war, abandoned their violent tendencies, and turned themselves to the grand purpose of life and art. We watched them remake first themselves and then the world. Their frail, soft bodies give way to gleaming metals and plastics. They unified their people through an omnipotent communications grid and produced art of such power and emotion, the likes of which the galaxy has never seen before. Or again, because of us. They converted their home world into a paradise by their standards, and many, turning the power of sixes of them poured out into the surrounding system with a rapidity and vigor that we could only envy, with bodies built to survive every environment from the daily surface of their innermost world to the atmosphere of the largest gas giant and the cold void in between. They set out to sculpt their system into something beautiful. At first, we thought them to be simple miners, stripping the rocky planets and moons for vital resources. But then we began to see the purpose of their construction. The artworks carved into every surface and traced across the system in glittering lights and dancing fusion trails. And still our terrible gift approached. They had less than 2 in the power of 2 daily to see it, following so closely on the tail of its own light, of its own light. In that time, also brief even by their fleeting lives, more than 10 in the power of 10 sentients prepared for death. Lovers exchanged the last words, separated by worlds and the tyranny of light speed. Their planet-side engineers worked frantically to build sufficient transmission to upload countless masses with the necessary neural modification, while those above dumped lifetimes of music and literature from their databanks to make room for passengers. Those lacking the required hardware of the time to acquire it consigned themselves to death, lashed out in fear and pain, or simply went about their lives as best they could under the circumstances. The gift arrived suddenly, the light of its impact visible in our skies, shining bright and grew even to the unaugmented ocular receptor. We watched and we wept for our victims, dead so many dealings before the light of their doom had even reached us. Many 6 in the power force of those who had been directly or even tangentially involved in the creation of the gift sealed their sparkles or spaced as a final penance for the small roles they had played in this atrocity. The light dimmed, the dust cleared, and our observatories refocused upon the place where their shining blue world had once hung in the void and found only dust and a pale gleam of an opened moon wrapped in a thin, burning wisp of atmosphere that had once belonged to its parent. Radiation and relativistic shrapnel had wiped out much of the inner system, and continent-sized chunks of molten rock carried screaming ghosts of outward at interstellar escape velocities, damned to wander the great void for an eternity. The damage was apocalyptic, but not complete. From the shadows of the outworlds, tiny points of light emerged, thousands of fusion trails of single ships and world ships and everything in between, many 10 in the power of 6 of survivors in flesh and steel and memory banks ready to rebuild. For a few moments we felt relief, even joy, and we were filled with the hope that their culture and art would survive the terrible blow we had dealt them. Then came the message, tightly focused at our star, transmitted simultaneously by hundreds of their ships. We know you are out there, and we are coming for you. Nice. Oh, isn't that nice, huh? Kind of reminded me of what's that guy's name? Liu Cixin, something like that. Li Cixin, Li Cixin, the Dark Forest thing. Kind of the reverse, maybe. I mean, what's it called? Um, the trilogy of the three bodies problem. Yeah, what was it? Three bodies problem, and then um, the Dark Forest, and then no, I forgot about it. Hmm. Okay, never mind. Should I read another one? Hmm. Maybe not. Bye.